Welcome to the first week of Talent Management. This week, we're going to dive into 3 foundational chapters that will shape how you think about organizational behavior, job performance, and organizational commitment. Before we dive into content, I want to highlight the importance of connection. Please take a moment to visit the course introduction discussion board. I've shared a little bit about myself there, and I'd love to learn more about you as well. I also shared a fun fact that would be kind of fun and exciting to learn something different than just our personal titles and who we are on the online community. And I would love for you to share one as well so we can find ways to relate to one another and learn about each other beyond just the discussion boards. Building a collaborative learning environment and community will make this course much more engaging and rewarding, as we will learn much more from each other than we will just from being within our textbook or our assignments. In this course, you'll learn how HR professionals use data-driven strategies and organizational goals to improve performance and commitment in the workplace. We'll cover topics like workplace learning needs, designing interventions, organizational development, and diversity. These concepts are essential for building a strong talent pipeline and creating a positive work environment. Now let's jump into Chapter 1. What is organizational behavior? Well, organizational behavior, or also known as OB, is the field of study focused on understanding, explaining, and improving attitudes and behaviors of individuals and groups within organizations. OB applies scientific research to enhance workplace performance and employee well-being. Job performance is designed as the degree to which employees effectively complete their work tasks. And organizational commitment is the extent to which employees remain loyal to and invested in the organization. These outcomes are influenced by individual characteristics, team dynamics, and organizational systems. Understanding these connections enable data-driven decision-making for evaluating organizational health and designing interventions. Now, the role of HR, specifically in organizational development, is very important. Specifically, when a department experiences high turnover, HR business partners or HR generalists or HR specialists can conduct exit interviews to uncover consistent themes in employee feedback. I myself, as an HR professional, have conducted many exit interviews in my time. And at times, you can find some really important information that can help the leader or maybe even the department change behavior or enhance behavior to make it a more conducive work environment for others. The role of the HR partner is to identify patterns. You don't want to take a single source of information and determine an outcome or a bias. And so it's important to analyze exit interview data for reoccurring issues like poor leadership or toxic environments. And then if you see a pattern taking place, a trend, a pattern, then it's important for you as the HR professional to intervene. This may be a time where you coach leaders and offer developmental support to address root causes. Or you may need to have some different conversations around what we need to do in the department to improve it. For example, I've gone into housekeeping departments before where I've had to interview multiple people leaving because we had a 75% turnover rate just in one job classification. And what I found is that a lot of the employees did not have proper training, and then they were being held accountable to things that they had no idea what they were supposed to be doing. And there was a really strong discipline-focused environment taking place, which was not effective and really difficult for them to feel like they were valued or part of a team. So after we did that, the third step is to then monitor. You want to track improvements in performance and commitment over time. So for example, 2 years ago in that job classification for housekeeping, those leaders are now not turning over at 75%. We now have maybe a 5 to 8% turnover. Why? Because the leaders are engaging in new hire development at the front end to ensure that they're successful. So it's a perfect example of how HR can really be instrumental in correcting the organizational behavior and the environment for employees to succeed. Now let's jump into Chapter 2, Job Performance. Job performance refers to employee behaviors, positive or negative, that directly contribute to achieving organizational goals. These behaviors are within employees' control and focus on how employees act to meet objectives. The first one being task performance. That's behaviors directly involved in turning inputs into products or services, such as routine task performance is considered habitual tasks, or adaptive task performance is novel demands. And then creative task performance are new ideas and innovation. And then the second one is citizen behavior, such as citizenship. This is voluntary actions beyond formal duties that contribute to organizational environments, such as helping coworkers or having a voice. Maybe civic virtue and courtesy, sportsmanship and loyalty. Many times you find citizenship behavior within core values of an organization. And it's really important that you as an employee align your own true values into the core values, because you'll be much more successful if that company believes in what you believe. The third one under job performance is counterproductive behavior. These are actions that intentionally harm or interfere with organizational goals. Maybe things like sabotage, gossip, or wasting resources. And then absenteeism or harassment, and aggression towards others. It's really important in all three of these that HR has a place at the table. And why? Because when you're thinking about task performance, you need to ensure that you have the right blend of employees that enjoy doing maybe routine tasks as well as creative tasks, or the organization will not stay on task or not grow. And then citizenship behavior. The HR partner is usually heavily involved in ensuring the core values of the organization live out and are truly alive within the team and the employees. And then obviously with counterproductive behavior, this is like the number one piece of HR. It's not always what we're designed to do, but this is where a lot of our leaders see us as. So when we can be part of task performance and citizenship behavior, we're really making a strong impact on the culture in the organization, not just on disengagement and discipline. Now, one of the most used job analysis tools used by HR business partners includes onetonline.org. It's by far one of my favorite tools to use. I'm probably on here more than any other website because it allows me to define specific task performance elements for each role. So when I'm building out a new job description, I'll go to onetonline.org because I don't want to start from scratch. It already exists. And the occupational search option that's available there provides several resources to guide HR professionals. HR will use the website for identified common KSAs, such as knowledge, skills, and abilities. Once the job is defined, a leader can then evaluate employees using metrics aligned with associated tasks, citizenship, and counterproductive behaviors. Workplace environments require adaptability, creativity, and frequent informal contributions, not just routine tasks and execution. Now let's look at an example. In a retail environment, performance can be assessed across multiple dimensions to provide comprehensive feedback and guide development. The first one is task performance. This is accurately processing transactions, maybe restocking inventory, or handling usual requests. The second one is adaptive and creative. This is proactively solving customer issues, suggesting improvements to service workflows. And then citizenship behaviors. We can see it come to life when we're helping colleagues during busy periods, maintaining friendly environments, volunteering for duties, and really just like our overall service methodology. And the last one we can really see very well is in counterproductive behaviors. When you see an employee that has repeated tardiness, neglecting tasks, or engaging in unprofessional conduct, it's very easy to see the evaluation of where they are in their job tasks. Now, managers are a critical part of this because they align rewards recognitions, bonuses, and development efforts to reinforce positive behaviors. And more importantly, they address negative ones and coach those employees using performance data to tailor coaching and engagement. Now we're jumping over to Chapter 3, which is about organizational commitment. Organizational commitment is an employee's desire to remain a member of the organization, and it significantly predicts whether someone stays or leaves. The first one is, three different types. The first one is affective commitment. This is an emotional attachment where employees stay because they want to. Then there's normative commitment. There's a sense of belonging. Employees stay because they ought to. And then continuous commitment is the awareness of costs of leaving. Employees stay because they need to, because there's a fundamental component to having funds and a paycheck that come with it. Now, HR can really play an important role here because HR business partners tend to help leaders build stronger commitment by taking a systematic approach to assessment, diagnosis, and intervention. For example, HR really strengthens the connection when they assess the current levels. This is where you conduct surveys measuring effective, continuous, and normative commitment. You can use say interviews, exit interviews, or you could use a large employee engagement survey result, because then you can see trends and behaviors over time. But when you need to do something immediately, you may do a pulse survey where you're only going to target one specific area because you're hearing some, commentary or noise from stay interviews or exit interviews. And then after that, it's identifying branch points, meaning that you're going to determine which form of commitment is the most dominant and in which may be lacking. Understanding the root causes affecting low engagement is a really important part of an HR individual's role. Because if they're the third party perspective and they're not in the department every day, and so they can see things without having a bias. And then obviously designing targeted interventions. With effective, you're going to build supportive cultural change and encourage transformational leadership. With continuous, you're going to ensure competitive compensation. And with normative, you're going to offer mentorship and career growth. And then it's really important to monitor withdrawal early. You want to watch for early psychological signs of disengagement and then take proactive action before behaviors escalate into costly turnover. That's probably the most critical part of an HR professional's role, is to be in the department early so that you're not waiting on the end to really focus on exit interviews. You could do that with roundtables, stay interviews, one-on-ones, being in team updates, walking the floor. There's so much of the role of being there in the department with the employees. As an HR professional, they make such a significant impact. Here's what to focus on this week. First, introduce yourself in the discussion board. Second, review the syllabus and familiarize yourself with the course structure and expectations. Third, complete your discussion participation. You'll want to complete your discussion question within the first week by Wednesday, and then have 2 peer responses on 2 different days. You'll want to work through your SMART book chapters and make sure that you're doing all of your reading assignments. And then submit your assignments for your Learning 1 Unit project and then your quiz by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to pace yourself across the week to make the workload much easier to manage. Now, this is just the beginning of our journey into the next 5 weeks together. We'll really focus on connecting theory with real-world examples. And if you have any questions throughout our time together, please use the general Q&A discussion post because many times what you have questions on, other people do too. And then for any personal matters, feel free to email me or call me directly. And then my goal is to always have your grading completed by Monday of each week. And then your midterm feedback will begin in week 3. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Good luck through this course and continue to stay heavily engaged as we continue our journey together. Thank you.